Hello YouTube. Today I am going to be showing you my fix to the Gemmy holiday light show trees. If you have the single tree version, the trio version, I don't know if you have the Gemmy incredible holiday light show, if you can take apart the bulb assembly, then it will also work for that too. If you have these old wires, these get brittle over time. They start to break at the connection points here. They just start to break, and even along the wires themselves they just start to break, or just them bent like this, breaks this over time, pulls this out. These wires will not last if you have the Gemmy holiday light show. They might last longer if you have the Gemmy incredible holiday light show, if you take care of it properly. So that I'm going to be showing you my fix though, what I did. So you can see the wire that's going into it is not the correct wire, and that is because I cannot find this wire that will go into the light show. So instead I am using RGB wire, which is a flat cable. Let me turn on the light here. I have the fluorescence turned off just so you can see this bulb, but I'm going to be showing you some light here. So you can see that the wiring here is a bit thicker. However, that is not a problem due to the fact that I don't have this jacket. And also, you can see that it's coming apart. That's because I cannot use the screws anymore. These screws do not hold anymore. They break like this. If you have this problem where the screw terminals break inside the bulb, you could just put a zip tie just like this and it's going to hold just fine. So, and then you can spray paint this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. You can spray paint this. So, but take the bulb off when you do so. Take the bulb off and take the lights out. Now, if you go with this option right here, you're going to have to remove the bulb and you're going to have to tape up the LED, or at least the wiring compartment. Now you have 3 different sizes. Let me zoom out. You have 3 different size bulbs if you have the Gemmy color changing light show trio or tree. You have a large bulb, medium bulb, and a small bulb. You can see there's a hole in the bottom. That is because string is supposed to go through it, and the bulbs are kind of supposed to be like this down the whole tree, not pointing out like how my tree is. So they're not supposed to be pointing out, but pointing down and with the tree. And then the flat cable can also be used because you can just run it like this. That'll look just fine. You can spray paint this if you want. I'm definitely going to spray paint it. So let's go and take the bulb assembly apart. As you can see, I didn't have the screw, so it just comes right off. And you have 2 screws. You want to remove those 2 screws to get to the wiring that this was originally plugged into. If it's in the middle of the chase, you're going to have 2 of these wires, one going to from the previous bulb, one going to the next one. Now, before you even go ahead and start doing any of this, I forgot to mention, you must know how to solder. Something as simple, you just need to know how to solder surface mount components. What I mean by that is you need to be able to install LEDs or anything where you can solder to this. You have to be able to solder wires to this type of connection. I'll show you on the lightshow bulb itself. I'll show you in a minute. And then it also helps to have a tool like this that can hold the board for you. But I'm gonna pull out the board. And as you can see, that's how I did it. I cut the 4 wires that were sticking out over here, and then I just soldered right to the back. Now I left too much wire there, so leave not as much wire, and then also flip the wires to where you have more room to get it into the bulb assembly, and also clean the bulb assembly. I'm going to be taking this part again anyway to clean it and to spray paint it, and then also check the LEDs to make sure that they're working. Plug it into the Gemmy lightshow, not into a power supply, because you will ruin the bulbs if you do it too high of a voltage. This is the red bulb, this is the green bulb, that's the blue bulb. And you can see where it's marked on the board where to put the wires. It'll actually tell you red, green, blue, white. Red, green, blue is negative. That's why a whole string does not go out when an individual bulb shorts out. So if your green shorts out and your blue is still working, if green shorts out with power, your blue is still going to work. So we're going to put everything back. Keep the silicone. That's what gives you a nice connection. And that's what keeps the bulb in as well. Make sure it doesn't get in front of your screw terminals. And then put this plate back in. And then I didn't do this one exactly neat because this is my very first time doing it. As you get more familiar with it, you are going to get it a lot neater. And then also you might need to make a modification to the caps as well when you do it. As the caps, what I'm talking about is these are not made for this type of wire. I'm going to show you that right now. But then also it's not very easy to, because this wire is fresh, and back when this was fresh it didn't have this crazy turn in it. But here's what I'm going to show you. This is the part that you need to put the wiring into. You can see where it broke off the screw, so I'm not even going to bother using the screw. I'm going to be using a zip tie. But you can see where I made a modification. You have to modify yours, but this is how the old wires sat in here. That's not going to work right. You can see the new wire will not sit in there right. What I prefer to do is to cut it over here and make another notch there, just enough to slide in the wire. But I did not do that with this particular bulb. I might still do it. I just started chipping away at plastic until it worked, until it sat in there right. And then also label where your bulbs go, because that also affects the design of the tree. So when you take a bulb out of the slot, put that same bulb back in, even because they are interchangeable. You can see this large bulb can fit in there, but this is the bulb that was in there originally. So label where these bulbs go. The best thing I would do is get a piece of painter's tape and then write, let's say this was, I believe this was string 6, this is the string 6, the last bulb, and string 6 has 6 bulbs. So I would write 6, 6. If it was string 10 and the second bulb, I would write 10, 2. I would write the number of the string, or what string it is, and then the bulb. If you cannot remember what string it was, you can always just write down, like go from left to right to the controller, and then write that down. Write down, let's say if it's the 7th string to the right, write down 7, and then whatever bulb it was, 3. You're going to do that for every bulb. But I'm going to zip tie that together, and we're going to power this up. But I'm not going to do all the other bulbs like that because they won't look right. Maybe I might modify that one. Use the Gemmy lightshow. I don't have it with me, so I'm going to be using this, but I won't be powering up the red because the red has a less voltage handling than the green and the blue. I have to unplug the light, and we're going to power up the bulb. So black is, in this case, the positive, so that's where you're going to hook in your voltage. If you're hooking up to the Gemmy lightshow, which I really recommend you doing, the black is going to take place of the white. Then the 3 colors represent the 3 colors. So red, green, and blue. And like I said, recommend testing your bulb with the tree. So here is blue. It's not quite as bright. Actually, yeah, it is quite as bright. Green. Yeah, it is actually quite as bright. And then the combination of the two, which I can show you the red real fast, but it doesn't do anything anymore because this bulb is broken with the red. See? It doesn't even work anymore. I think it killed itself. I have bulbs to replace it with, so I'm not even going to bother with that. So if I need to, I'll swap it out. But here's the combination of the two. If we take the bulb off and just look at the LEDs, I have not actually tried this one before. Here's blue, the blue LED. Here is the green. Oh, there's the red. See? The red does work. Maybe it's a higher voltage. I'll give it a blip. Nope. So it's a lower voltage with the red. So do not power up the red if you're using 3.3 volts. There's green. Like I said, oh, there's red. And then we're going to do the combination of the two. There's the one, light blue. And then we can see what happens if we hook up red to it as well. See if we can get white into there. If it'll work, but I don't think so. No. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna put this bulb back together again. And then I thank you for watching. That was a quick, very, very quick how-to exactly solder the wires to the board. I didn't show exactly me doing it because I wanted to try it out on the first bulb. But there will be more Gemmy lightshow videos. As you might know, I have to indeed post. But if you can just figure this step out, you might be able to fix up your lightshow without watching any of the other videos. But you do have to take apart the control boxes, you have to take apart the stars, you got to take apart all the bulbs, spray paint them, put new wires on them, which this is the wire I used. Just go on Amazon for it. I'll put a link in the description. If you watch the Gemmy Holiday Lightshow video, I also put a link in the description for that. I don't know if these are going to work, but they're just simple LEDs to replace the LEDs that are on there. So that's it. Thank you for watching.